Hi, Today All Day. We've got a great show for you on this Friday morning. Let's kick it off with the latest pop culture news we need to know. Check it out.
All right, Dylan, put on your pop star hat.
Ryan Reynolds, the actor who stars in the new action comedy Free Guy, hopped on social media this week to thank his many celebrity friends who made cameos in the film. There's John Krasinski, Hugh Jackman, Chris Evans. Reynolds writing, this movie is about friendship, and friendship is, at its simplest, just showing up. Here's to all the incredible pals who showed up for this film. Well, that's nice, right? Well, seeing this note, there was one friend who felt that maybe he would have shown up had he gotten the call. Chris Hemsworth, who did not appear in the film, commenting, "No worries, mate. Least I could do, BFFs." To which Reynolds replied, "Chris Evans said you weren't camera ready." Whatever that means. I hear it's already been picked up for a sequel, so maybe Chris...
Is he the funniest person, Ryan Reynolds?
I love it. And the
guy.
banter, and to get to, like, sit in on the banter, I love it. Well, Free Guy is out in theaters, only in theaters right now. Next up, Stand Up to Cancer. The televised fundraising special for cancer research is back this Saturday. It's hosted by Anthony Anderson, Ken Jeong, with his wife, Tran Ho, and Sofia Vergara. The program is set to feature appearances by some of the biggest names in entertainment, including our very own Craig Melvin.
Aww.
And it was just announced that late actor Chadwick Boseman will be honored during the show with a special tribute by his wife, Simone. Boseman, who lost his battle with colon cancer last year at only 43 years old, is remembered for iconic roles in films such as The Black Panther and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death among men and women combined in the United States. So to learn how you can help, tune in to Stand Up to Cancer tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on NBC. And finally, Sean Penn, our buddy Willie Guy, sat down with the Oscar-winning actor to talk about his latest film. It's called Flag Day. For the first time in his career, Penn both stars and directs the film about notorious counterfeiter John Vogel. And making this project even more special, Sean's daughter in the film is played by his real-life daughter, Dylan.
When the idea came across your desk, direct this film based on a true story, but also direct your daughter, what was your first reaction?
I had been sent the script, and I got to about page 30, and that's when my daughter's face got imprinted on that character in a way that occasionally had happened with other actors, but not to the point where it could now only be that face for me.
Dylan was not obviously an experienced actor at that point. What was it that told you she can do this?
But it wasn't until the first day of shooting, the first scene we shot together, when she just nailed a long scene. And I remember immediately being thrilled, admiring, moved, but mostly relieved.
What a guy to impress. Sean Penn, her dad. I just love that her name's Dylan. There are so few female Dylans out there. This is the first time Sean has ever directed one of his children, so that's really cool. Flag Day is in theaters today, and to catch Sean and Willie's full conversation, tune in this weekend to Sunday Today.
All right, Dylan, thank you.
And we're back at 8:35 with a surprising trend that's taking over the streets of London.
It's a sweet one. This summer, stores are filling up with sweets that will look very familiar to any American. NBC's Molly Hunter in London to explain that one. Hi, Molly.
Hey guys, good morning. So kids here tell me that YouTube and TikTok are driving this obsession with American candy. Well, savvy business owners are paying attention. We took one for the team, hit the street for some answers. Take a look. There's a sweet American invasion, a sugar rush taking London by storm. American candy, the stuff we all grew up with, is having a moment. In less than 1 city square mile, there are 9 mega candy stores, including the creatively named American Candy World, American Candy, American Candy Land, and Kingdom of Sweets, which claims to be the first. And on one of London's busiest shopping streets, there are so many candy shops like this popping up. This one is even pumping the scent of bubblegum out into the street to entice customers to get inside. According to the experts, like 8-year-old Chelsea Ann, the American offerings are bigger and brighter.
I like this candy more than British candy because it has more flavor and it boosts my energy more.
Yeah. That's code for more sugar. And to be honest, British candy is starting to look a bit boring in comparison to this. It's like Halloween almost, but what I'm really looking for is Almond Joys. They were my favorite candy 20 years ago. Have not been able to find them in the UK. And here they are.
And there's also this borrowed nostalgia at play. The cult American classics making a comeback, all thanks to social media.
Why is American candy more attractive to these guys? Like, what is it about it?
YouTube.
Challenges on TikTok and YouTube fueling this gooey, chewy trend. And it's not just central London getting the sugar coating. It's small stores like Faisal Rabat's Hollywood Candy, nestled in the impossibly hip East London neighborhood of Stoke Newington.
Welcome to Hollywood Candy.
How do people react when they come in and they see Mike and Ike's, they see Junior Mint?
Yeah, just the way you reacted when you walked in.
They just can't believe that you have those.
Of course, yeah.
He says customers drive for hours to get the latest YouTube craze, and lockdown was a boon for sales.
People at home, you know, they needed something to eat, you know, and we were the spot for it.
I'm confused because this country has a lot of junk food. This country does a lot of sugary stuff.
Yeah.
What is it about American candy, you think, that's really kind of gotten people excited?
I think when it comes to sugar, I think American products has more sugar. Yeah.
Of course.
The day we were there, some very happy customers.
Mike 9.
Mike and Ike, why is it better?
Because it always tastes more like lively.
And I think lively might also be slang for a lot more made in America sugar.
Okay, guys, so that panel of experts, a lot of the kid customers that we spoke with say Tootsie Rolls are a real favorite. And then apparently nerds, and even though there are nerds over here in this country, the flavors made in America are totally nuts. And then I tried to get some kids excited about Almond Joys. This one's been in my pocket since the shoot. No one was into it. They didn't like it. They thought it was boring.
Real shocker there, Molly. You had all that candy to choose from.
Yep.
There were whatchamacallits, Reese's, M&M's. You're going for Almond Joy? I'm in shock.
She and Dylan, man.
I love it. I love it.
I'd kill for an Almond Joy right now. Sounds amazing.
I guess you feel like a nut.
Welcome back. Today on the third hour, the gang dishes on all the latest. Check it out.
Our next guest is expanding the Roman Empire, one folding chair at a time. After nearly a decade in the WWE wrestling superstar Roman Reigns has assumed the throne as the Universal Champion.
The champ. He has not only conquered the ring, he's also defeated cancer 2 times. Now Roman will defend his title in Sin City against a WWE legend.
Also a great actor as well. He's really expanded his universe, and he's here to tell us about the main event. Roman Reigns, good morning. We are so excited to have you here. Roman, I remember growing up watching wrestling, and SummerSlam was always such an amazing time for fans. I can remember, like, when it started with Hulk Hogan and the $1 Million Man. Now you are the main event this weekend. Tell us what we can expect.
Good morning, guys. Man, it's going to be special this year. As we all know, it's been a tough couple of years dealing with this pandemic and searching for a new normal. So we've had to make some adjustments as we all have. And, you know, we've been in front of, digital boards for a while at the Thunderdome. And now we've kind of slowly moved back into a regular schedule, being in front of a live audience. So to be able to kind of go back and redo a WrestleMania, so to speak, where we did have live fans, but it was at a, it was at a controlled capacity. This time around at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, it's going to be a full capacity, and it's going to be a lot of people, a great energy, and a huge atmosphere. It's going to be awesome.
Now, Roman, you are defending your Ultimate Championship belt against WWE superstar John Cena. I feel like, he disrespected you a little bit with the "you can't see me" right in your face. I mean, how are you preparing this? He hasn't been in the ring in like a year and a half. So do you think he's ready for this?
Well, you just told the story there. That's the big question is, can Mr. Hollywood bounce back and do what we do in this, in this squared circle? It's unlike anything, WWE, obviously it's a performance, but there's so many physical demands. And you have to be on point. You really have to be within the process of being in that ring day in and day out. And you know, the small taste that I've had of being on a movie set, it's a lot of waiting around. You have stand-ins, you have stunt doubles. You know, you're not getting thrown around, and I'm going to throw John Cena around. You know, if there's anything you can identify me as, is Roman Reigns is the guy who's going to throw John Cena all over that ring. So hopefully we can get him back to Hollywood in one piece.
He's not quite calling Cena soft as tissue paper, but that's pretty close. I want to up the ante. You mentioned the acting, Roman. You've also done some work on the big screen. Between you and John, who's the better actor?
You know, I got this question yesterday. I think it's apples and oranges. You know, obviously he's done a great job over the summer, and he's played a pivotal role within the Suicide Squad and Fast 9. So his chops have been tested. I like to go with a more subtle, playing it a little bit under, not over the top, comic booky, and that's what I've displayed on SmackDown. And I think it's a good change up. So I think it's, you know, we're both good in our own right, but I obviously have, you know, to be able to capitalize on more opportunities and showcase myself a little more. He's done a great job in that regard.
That was a diplomatic answer.
Very diplomatic, yeah. Roman, you know, I think your best role, though, is as Survivor. You've beat cancer twice so far. How are you feeling right now?
I feel really good. You know, like anyone who's been through struggles or adversity, at the end of the day, you know, we hope for great opportunities, but the best opportunity is waking up in the morning and having a fresh start, having a new day. So for me, it's always, you know, that's why I always say, if God wakes me up, I'll take care of the rest. So, you know, for me, this weekend is a very special weekend with great opportunities, a huge spotlight to be able to showcase myself and my talents and represent my family. So for me, you know, I feel excellent, and to make all that happen, you have to be able to work on your health, and I try to target my health through my fitness and my nutrition, and it's something that I've taken very seriously for the past 2.5 years now, and when you exercise anything or condition it and become disciplined in that regard, it becomes more natural.
Yeah, and speaking on behalf of wrestling fans, Roman, we're grateful because the sport needs superstars like you and John, so thank you so much.
Welcome back. Today on Hoda and Jenna, we made it through the week, so now we want to leave you smiling as we head into the weekend. Check it out.
Here's the thing about Al. No matter what happens in his life, he's always fine.
Yes.
Hey, you got your knee replaced. How you doing? Great. Hey, you got this. I'm doing great. You know why? Because he realizes if you talk about something that's bugging you, everyone starts asking you about it. Then you start living in that.
But also, he's always in a good mood. Like, in the mornings, you just hear him whistling.
Yes, singing.
His music loud, and he's like, hey, JBH. Anyway, we love him. Okay, a shout out to Tia and Bethany from Houston and all their furry friends. We didn't know what that animal was, but I think a bunny.
Bunny?
At first, I thought it was a baby bear. But anyway, thank you for spending part of your day with us. And keep your videos coming to HodaandJenna.com.
Interesting. All right, so if you want something that's going to make you feel good, teachers deserve many shout-outs, and schools have in some cases, have already started, but there's this one teacher who has a very unique way of giving kids a little boost.
Yeah, can we please give a shout-out to fourth grade teacher from Atlanta? Her name is Miss Acker, and she makes sure her students start their day off right. Take a look.
I am smart.
That part, go.
I am a good person.
Love it.
I am awesome.
Louder.
I am.
Yes, louder.
I am a good sports player.
Good sports player.
I am strong and independent.
Yeah.
God, I love it.
I am strong and independent.
I am smart.
Oh, my God, that makes me weepy.
Don't we love her?
She said she started doing this with her 5-year-old daughter in the car on the way to school, and she realized what a boost it gave her kid. And then she did it to all of her kids. Can you imagine having Mrs. Acker?
Yes.
Like, what a great teacher.
And there are so many teachers doing such creative things because I think people just think, oh, yeah, they're teaching math and science, reading.
No.
But it's teaching confidence. And teachers around our country are doing it right now.
Here's her motto, which is good. Love doesn't start when someone loves you. Love starts when you love yourself.
I might start those with my kids. What do you think?
I like that.
Now to one of our favorite series hosted by Hoda. And Hoda, you've got a great one that's really all about neighbors helping neighbors.
Oh, I love this one. The minute I read about Mignon Francois, I knew I had to meet her. She literally did this, guys. She built her business from scratch, nothing. She had almost no money at all. And there was something about her ability to overcome obstacles and put a smile on people's faces that was inspiring. And it just so happens that she's from New Orleans, which happens to be icing on the cupcake. Take a look.
I always knew that I was going to be famous. I just didn't know why. I believe that God didn't waste this fabulous name that I have on nobody knowing it.
The name Mignon translates to beautiful. And at 33 years old, Mignon Francois made a decision to live out the meaning of her name. Mignon, you're a big shot, man. Can you believe it?
I still look at the line, Hoda, and say, these people are really standing in line for something that I made.
Mignon's cake and cupcakes are worth the wait. But life for the entrepreneur hasn't always been so sweet. It must be so sweet to be high up on this mountain because I know where you came from. I know the beginning. And this may be one of the most unlikely stories. Tell me about the beginning.
I had moved to Nashville, Tennessee, looking for a better life for my children. This was a condemned property when we came into it. I mean, we were living in this house without electricity sometimes. And I would sit in the house in total darkness while my children were at school. So when they came home, I could save up the gas in the generator so that they could have normalcy.
That had to be depressing.
Yes, it was depressing. But there came a time in my life when I thought that I was bigger than the situation that I was in. And so even in the worst of times, I knew that I was supposed to be learning something. And if you learn, that means you won.
And boy, did Mignon find a way to win.
At that time, I was following this guy on the radio who was telling people that they could get out of debt by having a bake sale. And I thought, okay, but I don't know how to bake.
But with the help from her daughters and baking lessons over the phone from her grandmother back in New Orleans, Mignon found her sweet spot. And then one unlikely opportunity from Mignon's neighbor, Joni, turned her entire life around.
So I was making cupcakes for my neighbors, and one of my neighbors knocked on the door. She said, "Why are you sitting in the dark?" I said, "Because I'm meditating, duh." And so she said, "I'll let you get back to that, but I want to order cupcakes for all my clients." I only had $5 left. And that was going to be what I needed to at least buy some dinner with. I had to take a bet on myself. I put my shoes on, I walked to the store around the corner, and I bought everything I could buy with that $5, and I turned that 5 into 60 that day. And then by the end of the week, I turned that 60 into 600, and I've been flipping that same money for the last 13 years.
You went from $5 to millions?
To millions!
Since that first order from her neighbor 13 years ago, Mignon opened the doors of the Cupcake Collection in the same building she once lived in without electricity, and has opened a second location in her hometown of New Orleans.
We are now voted as the best cake in Tennessee. We just won a nod as the best cake in Louisiana, all from a girl who didn't know how to bake, not even out of a box.
And it all started with $5 and that first neighborly offer. I think for all of us, too, we each need like one person, somebody who believes in us. And your person is Joni, is that her name?
Joni Dixon, yeah. Joni Dixon was my neighbor across the street, and she believed.
Joni Dixon, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh, I'm crying. Hey, Joni!
Hey, Mignon.
Can you believe that viewers of Cupcakes turned this woman into the woman she is today?
When I met her, I knew she was going places, and she's always positive. I love that.
You know, she didn't know what I was going through, but she just did what she could. And I think that's what a lot of people can do, what they can to help somebody else. And she didn't know how much of an impact she was being in my life. And I'll never forget it.
Come on, there's magic in these. We got to give them a go.
Okay,
I'm
let's
doing
try
red
it.
velvet.
I think I'm going to try sweet
hold
potato,
on.
which
she says they're made with
I
love.
heard is their special. Look,
Okay,
see,
hold
this
on.
is orange.
Uh-huh.
Mmm.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
This is delicious.
The other thing I loved about Mignon is that she told me that when she was down to her last $5 in her pocket, her kids never knew they were poor. They never knew they were poor, but they always knew they were loved. Is that amazing?
That is so awesome. And we get to dig into some of her cupcakes. As you see right here, they're the best. You can tell they're baked with love.
I'm so happy.